Ah, the fresh smell of an SMP in the morning, and some of the other members have really been cooking things up. I mean, I pop on and I see this. That's glorious. That's so pretty looking. It's just a little like train car that's just flowing out. Oh, I love that. I love that design. But I also notice there's a dirt house over here, but it's the prettiest dirt house I've ever seen. Which I love. And then we have a workshop in the progress over here as well. There's a lot happening, but my area, well, needs a lot of work. But thankfully, with our little storage system that we set up last episode, I think we're going to be able to really press on. But there's a lot more resource gathering that needs to be done. For example, we are going to need to harvest a lot more wood. So that is going to be something on my list. But I was thinking, is there a way to actually package this thing up and like bring it with me on a car contraption? Like that would be really, really cool if that's something that I can actually do. But before I do that, I have to make slime balls, which means I need lime dye, and I also need some dough, which means time for a mixer and time for a little bit of washing. Oh yeah, and did I say mixing? I actually meant milling. So it's now time for me to get set up the mill. So that means time to craft the basic millstone. And then, well, we also need an encased fan to be able to, well, wash so we can get this slime up and running. Now, since I'm just getting this set up in the basic of form, let's go ahead and place down our fan, and we can place that right here, and we can place some leaves right in front of it. And because we're in this version, I can easily use a bucket and waterlog this, and this is going to get this whole thing up and running, and water won't spill everywhere. Oh, that is so nice. Now for the mill, we are going to need, well, to put a cog on this. So if I go ahead and place a large cogwheel, just like that, that should give it a bit of rotation, and we still should be able to use our little hand crank here on this to get that up and rolling. We can't forget to put the hand crank in the back here for the fan, so that way we can stand here and drop our items on, and we can make sure it looks like to hold shift, and we can go ahead and actually wash things. You gotta just love the basics of Create. And this right here is going to hopefully get us some slime so I can go adventure. Now, one of the hardest parts about actually getting this recipe up and running is getting yourself green dye. Now, we can use the mill to break down a few things because I don't have cactus just yet. So I think a fern would be one of the easiest things for us to get our hands on, considering it's just in a forest over here. Now, before I head over there, finding my horse would be a really good idea, but yeah, remember how I named it Artax? Well, I didn't expect it to stick around for very long. That's why I even took the saddle off of it. It had low health, and well, it also had already started to run away from me. So I bet in the amount of time that I wasn't on, this horse has definitely wandered off somewhere and has possibly gotten stuck in the mud. Oh man. And so I just went ahead and decided to just get a new one. But what should we name this horse? It's got a little bit more health. You know what? Honestly, I'm kind of on the hunt right now for a much faster horse. So, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to leave you here. I'll take your saddle, but yep. I think this one's a little bit faster. So goodbye, no name. Yeah, this one's quite a bit faster. And now that I'm back, yeah, I'm not losing you this time. No. So now let's go ahead and get this bad boy to work. We should be able to just simply toss the ferns in and then give this a good mill. And this is going to grind this all up into individual pieces. Primarily though, we should be able to get some green dye, which we definitely did. Then next on the list is some wheat, and we just need to give that a good old grind right here, just like that. And well, a little bit of bone magic here too to get the most out of our bone. And of course, a little bit of washing of our wheat flour to, you know, clean the wheat flour, because we definitely want our wheat clean. But there we go, we'll get that washed up, and that should turn it right into dough, which will get us the slime. Beautiful. We combine these together with our lime dye, and that will grant us some slime balls. And we're almost ready to make glue. And now, voila, we have ourselves some super glue. Oh, and I can't wait to use this. Now, at the moment, we are using a regular entity, for example, a pig here to interact with our stock tinkerer. But if I was to turn this into a contraption, if this is going to work as a contraption, I am thinking what we can do instead is move our stock link possibly to the front to give it a bit more space and replace the pig right now with a blaze burner. But that does mean I am going to need a blaze burner. So we need all of the stuff requested in order to get a blaze burner. So let's go ahead and pull that out. And then we just need to craft it. We should be able to just click that. There we go. Making the crafts a lot easier. Now, our trip to the Nether that we took last episode, well, we have that spawner actually now in the world because it was just completely yanked from the world. And assuming that it's not been moved too far, it should be right over here. Wow, they've already got brass up and running. Yeah, I mean, it was down in this tunnel or in a tunnel over here. I'm going to have to locate it, ain't I? Aha, I think it's down here. Yes, there's the blaze spawner. Perfect. So now I have myself a blaze burner, which I could have just gone to the Nether and grabbed, but we actually have the spawner in the overworld, which is kind of powerful. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below, by the way. What do you think of the carry-on mod allowing us to pick up all this stuff? I would love to hear from you. I definitely like its ability to be able to pick up mobs, for example, villagers and stuff, but being able to pick up everything... not so much. All right, I am sorry, Piggo. You've got to go for now, but that's fine. Because if we go ahead, for example, and place the blaze burner directly in front of the Tinkerer, not here, but in front of the Tinkerer, it should work. Yes, you can see that it gets a little hat here, and voila, we now have a station. It looks like our pig also found a home and for some reason is paddling my boat. What is happening here? Now I can't have this looking plain Jane, so I'm going to go ahead and add a trap door into the bottom and then place some stairs right here to kind of make it look like a little workstation. And then what I can do is I can go ahead and try out the new tablecloth, which I think is going to be kind of cool, right? We basically take wool and we combine it here and it gives us a tablecloth. And then when we place this down, this has a fantastic cool look to it. Now, can I place a lamp on here? I can. You can place up to 4 items, I think, but you can't, once the tablecloth is on here, you can't, like, for example, place a lantern. But I might be able to place the lantern, I was going to say directly on top of the blaze burner, but it doesn't look like it. All right, tablecloth, you've got to go, because I do want a pseudo light source. I think the blaze burner emits some light, but I do want a little light source right here just in case. All right, so let's move the stock link, and then we'll also move this. We've also got to turn this off for right now, otherwise that's going to create an absolute mess. There we go. Oh my goodness. And then place the stock link back on here, just like that. Relink with this, and then place it back down. And I'm hoping when we turn it into a contraption that it reconfigures itself appropriately. Like, that's at least what I hope. And to make the contraption work, well, we need a cart assembler. And this is where things get a little bit interesting, right? Now, I do want the cart assembler to be in a nice, convenient place. I'm just still trying to figure out where that might be. I mean, we could do it right here, but we are going to have to place like a slab or something directly in front of the blaze burner. I don't really want to block access to this barrel. With that being said, though, we could just place it, for example, right down here. And so if we have a rail, like I can just request a rail. If we have one of the rails sit out, we just basically place the rail on top, and this would have this contraption basically lift off the ground for us. So it'll look like this, and technically this trapdoor can be linked to the top of the assembler. All we have to do is just glue all of these sections together. Okay, so now hear me out. Let's go ahead and glue some of the main parts together. For example, I know that we're going to want to glue this section and this section together, but on the front, we technically just want to glue these together. And then we just want to glue this here and this here just to make sure that all of those mechanics are connected. The barrel right here, we don't want anything above it just in case something's in the way. We don't want it to actually pick it up if we do place it in a weird spot. But I think all of that being connected together should allow this cart contraption to technically work. We just have to give it a redstone signal, much like this. And now it should pick up the cart, and we can use our wrench to literally pick it up, and then we can take this wherever we need. So just to kind of test it, I want to face this direction here. And let's see, can we bring this cart with us? Oh, this is going to be the test right now. So if I give it a redstone signal, it's a little bit safer whenever we place this in, because it does allow us to visually see it before actually placing it physically in the world. But yeah, you can't interact with it until it is in its physical location. Does it work? Oh my gosh, it does work. This is a fully configurable now portable storage solution. Okay, this is fantastic. I'm in love. Oh, and now I just want to decorate it more. I want to add like a border to the bottom here to make it actually look like it's a traveling cart. Well, I think this is perfect. And I just need to add more to the glue here and just simply glue these sections down. There we go. And last but not least, this section gets re-glued. Just glue everything though, except for the actual cart assembler itself, because we definitely don't want that to be done. And now we just give this a redstone signal and I can pick up the entire thing. And we definitely want to make sure we have the wrench on us. And apparently we can actually rename the contraptions. So that's pretty darn cool. And that will allow me to name this literally just storage. So of course, just to test it again, we'll slap this down and this time not even worry about the redstone, just simply place it down and we have our storage ready to go. Oh, I love this. And I think now would be a good time to get our saw up and running and we'll go collect some logs. Now, of course, after collecting a bit of spruce and oak, I'm kind of also thinking I might want to grab some dark oak, but that forest is actually quite far away. Oh my goodness, I've seen some more horses and I hate to do this, but I'm sorry, this one is slightly better than you, like in a lot of ways. That's a almost perfect horse right here. Yeah, you're mine, buddy. And honestly, because we don't have many ways of traveling as of right now, a horse and making it as fast as possible is going to be the best play. Oh, and I really do love this like speckled color. This is such a cool little color as well on the horse. I'm sure by this point you've changed the name of this horse like 6 different times in the comments because of all the ones that we've changed, but yeah, I would definitely love to know what we should name this. Now, after that long journey, right up ahead, yes, the dark forest. Oh man, this is gonna be really nice. It's gonna allow me to build and use some really, really dark contrasty colors. Now, you might have noticed me on the spruce farm in the time lapse kind of going through here and placing in logs and then bridging across. Well, I think I can do that here as well, where it can actually chop down this tree along with this. So let's give this a shot, right? So I just bridged the logs over and it chops both of the trees down. What a nice little cheese there. Like at this point, I just wonder how many of these I can actually have connected together like this. Oh, this is gonna get kind of crazy, isn't it? I have a bunch of trees and oh my, it can do a lot. Now, after that successful wood chopping journey, I ended up with a ton of dark oak, which is going to be great because we just need wood in general just to convert things into water wheels and such. And like, not to mention the andesite casing needs so much wood. Now, before long, we'll end up having ourselves like an auto tree farm. Like that'll be something that's definitely done. But for right now, well, we don't have enough iron. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I found a nice way of just keeping my horse safe because I don't trust leads. More wood now equals building time. Yes, I can now start to kind of formulate a little bit of a early game area. And I think water is going to be a priority here. I essentially want water to be flowing somewhere from here and flow its way down and wrap through this and then flow its way down into a waterfall. But this is really just going to get me started, right? As this is going to be how I generate my early game cobblestone and how I power at least a couple water wheels. So now with the outline of a nice little waterfall, it's time to decorate this and make it start looking a little bit more functional. To do this, I just need to slap some of these large water wheels on here to start finally generating some stress units. Oh boy, this is looking good. And so with 3 water wheels here, each generating 512 SU, this is going to be very, very easy to handle. And I'm just going to continue basically spreading them out just like this and even down here. So we have tons of water wheels now generating a ton of stress, and I'm going to essentially lead the stress and handle it down under the ground. Now, aesthetically, I've also decided to go ahead and, well, basically leave a gap between the water wheels because I think it looks a lot nicer, even though it does reduce the amount of stress that I will have. I can always hide these underground, but I do need them to connect to each other, and so that's where the shaft is actually going to come into play. And now the spruce logs was a little bit temporary, as I'm going to need to place a vertical gearbox on all of these to get them connected. Now, I was trying to come up with a way to be able to connect all of these technically without running anything underground, and I think there is a way to do it now that we are in this new version of Create. And this is going to allow me to utilize one of the brand new features. And that, my friends, is going to be the chain conveyor, which seems really, really neat. And I feel like this could be perfect for this application. See, to be able to connect this all together, we just need to go up a certain height. For example, I'm going to go up about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 high, maybe 2 high, actually. Let's go 3 high. And then we just simply place down a chain conveyor. And then I need to do the same thing for all of these sides as well. And the height doesn't actually matter. We can have it varied. We can just go ahead and say, hey, go 3 up on this side, 3 up on this side. And then we just chain them together. Like, it's just perfect. It's perfect. Okay, so how do we chain them together? Well, we're going to need to use chain. We right click the chain onto the conveyor, and then we click over here, just like so. Oh, of course, to fix this, because I did place these on the opposite side, we want them rotating the same direction as the other side. So that does mean I need to include another gearbox here to change that rotation. But now that it is connected, this should be a little bit easier. Okay, so let's now try to place this on top. Perfect. And then connect the chain. Now they're connected. And then I can just simply chain them all together, all of the different heights, and all of the stress should now be linked together with these chains. And so, of course, to be able to test this out, let's just go ahead and hop up here and yeah, just sort of hang out, you know? We can just chill here forever. I mean, to be honest, this is going to be one of the coolest parts of the actual mod. So after getting the foundation basically built, it's now time to get some of the inner workings of our basic workshop done. The workshop is going to be downstairs here, and so I do need to start gear ratioing this up, and I want to get this as close to 256 or the max as possible on the RPM. So to be able to do that, we go small cog or large cog, then we go small cog, large cog again, and then andesite casing to make this nice and compact. Small cog, not here, but here. And then we're going to need to go large cog, and then andesite casing, small cog, and we're getting there. That's why I left all of this space, because it does take a little bit to get this ramped up to the max RPM. But then large cog again, andesite casing, small cog, and we're getting there. We're almost to the max RPM. And then we go yet again, and now we are definitely getting at that max RPM speed. So right here, I believe, is 256, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, we can be able to tell. If we go ahead and we place a large cog here and try to gear ratio up again, we're going to notice that this should start popping off. Oh, actually, this might be the 256. The only way to tell is when we do this. Yes. So as you can see right here, if it is starting to break it off, you know that you have definitely reached the cap. And that's kind of perfect that the 256 is right here. Now, I know I just set this up, but I think I'm going to essentially place all of these on the top side just to make it look a little bit nicer. And I actually might rotate in and out between this side and the other side. And so with all of that set up, it starts to look a little bit nicer, and then also allows me to make this look like it's kind of being lifted up, not sunk into the ground. The important part, getting the rotational power transferred over. So I went ahead and placed a gearbox here so I can get vertical power up if we need it upstairs. And I also have a gearbox here to get the rotation spinning in the right direction, so that way I can have a belt that runs here to fill the container. That way I can have a barrel just automatically fill with whatever our mixer makes. So yes, I've got to bridge this over like so, and to power this belt, I can use some chain drives. And thankfully, chain drives can rotate the power and kind of change the direction, but also keep the same spinning rotational direction. So we have that spinning over, and then I can use another vertical gearbox here to be able to transfer the power up, so we can have a cog that's running this. That should be pretty straightforward. And then we might also want another vertical gearbox here, except this one, which we can rotate like this, and then rotate again. This one is going to have another vertical gearbox, except this time it's going to be up top, which is going to power the press. And then last but not least, we carry that rotational energy over here again into another vertical gearbox, this time going like so, and this is just going to power our mill. And so with this, we should have plenty of rotational energy to be able to get this whole thing up and running. And with just a few connections, yeah, we're basically there. Now I was like, you know what? This shop actually needs a way to smelt things as well. So having all 4 fans properly set up over here is probably going to be a good idea, and the front door being over here. So that way, when I walk into the shop, we have all of our main components here. Of course, the walls are going to be decorated a little bit. And then we have a fan section here, allowing me a space to place the mechanics right here. So we'll place like the water and such right here. And then the spot to actually drop them, which we can have some chutes, and then the place for the funnel to go, and then the actual collection area right here, basically simplifying the whole process. Now to be able to power all of those fans in case chain drives, basically running along, and then one rotated this direction, and then we just need to receive some power from a smaller water wheel, as the rotational speed really doesn't matter here. We just need to get it to at least here, and this is plenty of space, which should be fine. So it looks like the direction is correct, and yeah, this is blowing just like we would want it to. So now for laying all of this out. So to be able to get the lava in, which is probably the scariest considering we do have wood in here, I'm going to place it down here in hopes that it doesn't catch anything on fire. And then the water, of course, can go inside here. And then I'm just going to use some trapdoors to lay this all out. And I think even right here, what I'll end up doing is I'll just break the pressure plate and then place in a trapdoor to keep everything nice and consistent. And then to be able to get the items auto dropping in, we'll just place in some chutes, and this should drop the items right here onto the plates. And then eventually when we have brass, we can automate the insertion into the barrel when the items are done. Like this right here is super simple to set up. So now with the ability to smelt and everything, it's all coming together very, very nicely. And I've started working on the floor. You can see the sort of design that I've gone with down here. I'm just rotating in and out with a pattern, and then I'm going to come in and place down some of the dark oak. I think that's going to fit really, really well in with our spruce and many other things, especially for the floor here. I am, however, still worried that that lava could potentially catch the whole base on fire. After all of that, we now have a floor on the bottom level in the workshop and a floor on the upper level. Things are really starting to come together, but before I can do the roof, well, we're going to have to work on another major project that involves Create. That is going to include a drill, but that's going to have to wait until next episode because, well, today, I have spent way too much time on this project, and that is essentially going to require a lot more time to drill out the areas. So if you did enjoy today's episode and you did learn something new and you've been enjoying this series so far, make sure you've clicked that subscribe button and of course given this video a huge thumbs up, as today's episode has taken me a tremendous amount of time to get set up. Remember, this is Just Create, and so I am very limited with the quality of life mods that I have. I essentially have to build my own quality of life by utilizing Create. Of course, before we wrap up today's episode, I do want to give a huge thanks to the amazing supporter of today's episode. And that huge thanks is going to go out to Owen. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting me in one of the best ways possible. And so guys, with that, I hope you enjoyed today's episode and I look forward to seeing you, of course, in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.